Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It's Grill MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he does come in, great. If he doesn't, then we will we'll talk about. I guess we'll see him on Friday for the big one, our NFL draft special, our recap of the NFL draft, and that'll be on Friday night. So, with that said, we're just gonna dive right on in, and we're gonna start the show tonight. Obviously, we're gonna have NXT, we'll have AEW Dynamite, and then we're also gonna be previewing the WWE Backlash France that goes down on Saturday afternoon. So, we got all that coming up right here tonight. So, with that said, we're just gonna dive right on in. And okay, so we're just gonna start it off, guys, and we're gonna do it. Starting it off with NXT, and we started it off. When we started this show off with the new NXT champion, Trick Williams, cut at a promo, got interrupted by Lash Legend, and she was holding some kind of manila envelope and saying that, something is going, something's going on. So we started looking around and we're like, oh, now this is interesting. So obviously the promo, you could tell there's a little bit of some innuendo going on between them two. They are a real life couple. Hint, hint, nod, nod, wink, wink. I think that kiss about a month ago kind of confirmed that they were together. Then you could tell there was a little bit of that flirtation. She was trying to get into the head, and he was just throwing zingers right back, man. She talked about how she he was talking about the Reese's cup. She's like, I don't like Reese's. I'm more of a Kit Kat. And then he's like, well, why don't you break me off a piece of that then? And I was like, ah. I was like, ah. I started freaking out. I was like the fans in the CWC. I know Anthony Florio probably was blushing a little bit. Michael Bullock is probably like, "Ay, Marone, are you kidding me? We're really going there now on this show. Come
Too
on,
hot for
guys."
TV.
Yeah, a little too hot for TV. Me, I have my popcorn ready. I'm gonna say I was like Kelsey Plum. I had my popcorn. I was eating that up. I was like enjoying it with my soda. I was like, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. So I was laughing so hard because it just felt, I don't know. It just felt natural for them to play that up. But I will say this: what is inside that manila envelope? What is she holding over his head? Is it paternity? Is it maybe he got himself caught in something compromising that maybe was too hot for TV? I think what it is that it might be a contract saying that her man, Noam Dar, is possibly now in line for an NXT title fight, and that he may be the first challenger for Trick Williams for that title. Now, don't get me wrong, if that match happens, that might be a pretty good fight. Trick Williams versus the Scottish Supernova, Noam Dar. I mean, that would be a pretty good fight. Not bad to say the very least. But that's the thing. We don't know what that envelope is, and we don't know what's the contents of that envelope. Some people were freaking out. They're like, "Oh no, please don't let it be paternity. Please don't let it be like she's pregnant or something." AEW did that with Ruby Soho, and but the thing was, the Ruby Soho thing is completely real. There was nothing fake about it. It was 100% real. And then on top of that, she actually went on social media and they showed that little sonogram, I think is what they call it. They had a sonogram of her legitly being pregnant. So it wasn't just a, oh, storyline purposes. No, they went a step further and confirmed, oh no, this is not fake, guys. This is not storyline. This is real deal. She is pregnant, and she's expecting, and obviously in wrestling, she's out for now 1 year. She will not be wrestling for 1 year. We'll get into AEW later tonight, but she's now off TV for 1 full year because of that. But this time around, people are thinking, oh, WWE, do you really need to go down that road? Do you really need to go down that? Well, I don't know what it is. And that's why this was a beautiful cliffhanger, because we didn't know what the content's in it. All we know is that sooner or later, we're going to find out. And she said it's going to rock his world. So what could that mean down the line? We'll wait and see. But Trick Williams, he is so over as NXT champion. Bullock, you got yourself a bona fide star, man. People love Trick Williams. They love the whoop that trick. And everything else. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
This needs to be addressed. This absolutely needs to be addressed, and I'm chopping at the bits.
Okay. So. Yeah, all right. All right. I can tell. You're ready. All right.
Trick.
All right. Fire at will. Go ahead, Florio. What's up?
Segment of the night. No question about it. I'm invested. I'm intrigued. I mean, what is in that envelope? Could it be a paternity test? Could it be a contract for a possible championship match for Noam Dar or even Oro Mensah? Perhaps. I don't know. But this came out really well done. I very much enjoyed this segment. Hey, intriguing television, to say the very least. And and you noticed. Now here's the thing. Trick Williams and Lash Legend are an item in real life. So don't be surprised if this ultimately leads to something with those two later down the road, which I believe it will. But as far as my overall thoughts on all this goes, a solid first promo for Trick as champ. He's got this crowd in the palm of his hands, guys, and he comes off as very humble and likable. I mean, Lash and Trick did get to have fun with all those innuendos, and they are indeed dating in real life. And I'll leave it at this by saying a solid cliffhanger with the envelope mystery. Apparently, Shawn Michaels is doing the same thing that Papa H is known for: long-term booking. I'm here for it. So, fantastic segment of the night for me. Solid promo here. So, Michael Bullock, no better way to start off Trick Williams as the NXT champion than with a cliffhanger. Let's go.
Yeah, you definitely started off with a cliffhanger here. I mean, like you said, segment of the night, and like you said, the big question is, what is in that envelope? I mean, we really don't know. I mean, like you said, could it be a paternity result, or could it be a contract? I mean, there's only one person who knows, and that's the one that's holding the envelope in Lash Legend. And I don't think she's gonna let everyone know what it is until she knows when the time is right. So it's just it's just the waiting game now. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say on this. So it's yours, Fletch.
And then the first fight of the night we had was Ivar going one-on-one with Obafemi for the North American Championship. And it was Obafemi winning the match in 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Yes, 11-11. Make a wish for all you fans out there if you believe in that. But it was a little bit short-lived, because the next thing we know, Wes Lee came through the crowd, jumped into the ring, and basically just stared down Obafemi. And oh my goodness, Obafemi versus Wes Lee. Remember, Wes Lee never lost the title. He had to relinquish it due to injury. And if there's one guy who I think the fans would love to see once again the North American champion would be Wesley. We'll say this. He's had a very interesting year being out due to injury. Now he's back. Anthony Florio, Obafemi, right out of the gate. Yes, he's been the most dominating champion, but Wesley may be that underdog from the underground, no pun intended, to Sami Zayn. But this guy could easily become the next North American champion and get the belt back.
Yes, indeed. 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. Both men are powerhouses who can work at a quick pace, so this was much more energetic than some bouts we have seen with similar competitors. While they displayed great athleticism and energy, I thought a little something was missing from this match, if I'm going to be honest with you. Being predictable may have been a factor, but they picked up the pace a bit in the second half to get the crowd cheering. As expected, Femi won to retain his title. Wes Lee made his return and confronted the champion after the match to make his intentions clear. Business has picked up indeed. So great to see Wes Lee back. I mean, especially after that heartbreaking promo he had to cut months ago with the injury and the whole 9 yards. And it's great to see him back. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being the one that dethrones Obafemi eventually. So that would be a banger of a match if we get it. So we'll see what happens. For this one, 3 1/4, teetering on 3.5. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I'm sure it had to please you. We're all happy for him, but I know nobody was more happier than you to see Wes Lee back, the greatest North American champion, after that heartbreaking promo that he had to cut. And here he is. He's back in the fold, and it's great to see him back.
Oh, man, it's just so great to see him back after that heartbreaking promo that he gave when he had to relinquish the title. And yeah, I mean, nobody was more heartbroken than I was. I mean, I remember that promo so dearly, and you could just see the tears literally coming out of his eyes. I mean, I really felt for him, but now that he's back and he's going after that title that he never really lost, and him and Obafemi, that's gonna be a really good match that I'm gonna have interest in whenever it happens. So, but for the match, 3 1/4 stars. I'm with you, Fletch. It's yours. I mean, it's just so great to see Wes Lee back. I mean, especially after that heartbreaking promo he gave when he had to relinquish the title due to that injury.
Wes Lee is back. That's awesome. Three stars for me as well. Solid match, good battle, enjoyable fight. I definitely will admit that. So really nothing more to add. So next up we had was Thea Hale versus JC Jane. Thea Hale winning the match via submission, Kimura lock, 7 minutes and 57 seconds. But after the match was over, Fallon Henley turned on Thea. What was that all about? I don't know what happened. I don't know what led to that. Michael Bullock, poor Thea, man. She cannot catch a break at all. She thought JC Jane was her friend. Nope. She thought Fallon Henley is her friend. Nope. It seems like every time she gets close to anybody, they end up stabbing her in the back. What the hell is wrong with this baby girl?
Yeah, I mean, she's starting to lose friends that she thought that she trusted. I mean, she trusted JC Jane, and she ended up stabbing her in the back. Now Fallon Henley. I mean, what in the world did she do to Fallon Henley to deserve this? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 2 1/4, 2.5 on this one. I mean, it was a fine match here, but man, the ending, I don't think anybody expected it, unless Florio had a sneaky suspicion. But we'll get to him when we get to that. But my advice to you, Thea Hale, and Fletch, you know where I'm going to go with this. In the immoral words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Hall of Famer, what is that, Fletch?
Don't trust anybody.
Yeah, Thea,
ETA.
start taking the advice of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Don't
Yeah.
trust anyone, because you trusted JC Jane. Look what she did to you. She stabbed you in the back. Fallon Henley, you trusted her. She did the same thing. I mean, until you really start to like find a friend that you could really trust, unfortunately, you can't trust anybody right now. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah. And actually, the weird thing was if you notice the promo before the match, Fallon started acting a little more suspicious than usual. So even because me and a fellow colleague from the 2184 crew, we noticed that and we're like, Fallon's acting a little more sus. Because she never acted like this. What is going on? What's her play? What's her angle?
Like, something stinks and I don't like it.
Yeah. Like, I was like, there's that game called Among Us, and there's always that one moment where you get a little suspicious of certain people. Let's just say my little detector started creeping, and I'm like, I might want to keep a closer eye on Fallon. Not just because of her good looks and her beauty, but there's something about this baby girl I'm not liking. Sure enough, boom! The dynamite went off, and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Fallon? Really? You had to do that? What? Now, some people are saying we don't know. That's the $1,000,000 question. What did Thea do to piss off Fallon Henley or to make her turn on her? Was it because she was getting the look? Was it because she was sticking her nose into these battles because she was losing those matches? Because of the fact that she got involved in that and resent about that? I don't know. There's a million different ways this can go. I will say this, though. This is going to be very interesting to watch because, a lot of people love Fallon Henley's work. She's been one of the most over people. Some people are shocked she didn't get drafted on draft night, that she didn't go to either Raw or SmackDown. She got left behind. Some people thought she should have gone to the main roster. I don't know about that because it looks like she's firmly in a good storyline right now because it looks like her and Thea Hale's about to go into war. Who knows how that plays out? But one thing's for sure, we'll wait and see how this plays out. But Anthony Florio, it is yours. This was about a 2.5-star bout. But again, it's the backstab is what made this segment quite the interesting story. Let's say that. So Florio, it's yours.
MF, you know this better than anybody. I ain't no Johnny come lately on the block. I saw that coming from a mile away. I really did.
I knew it. I had a funny feeling that Anthony Florio had that he was going to somehow say, I saw this coming a mile away, and I was right.
I smell a rat. I smelled a rat. And when I smell a rat, I pounce right on it, baby. I pounce on it. So, all right. But unfortunately, this bout only lasted a couple more minutes when we returned. Hale winning was the right call, but this never felt like it came close to reaching its full potential. And then for some odd reason, in people's eyes, Fallon Henley turned on Hale and attacked her after the bout. Well, I'll tell you exactly why she did it. Sick and damn tired of putting everybody else first. It's about time I put myself first. What does Booker T always preach about? Checks and championships. She wants those checks and championships. Quite frankly, everybody else does. If you're not in it to win, if you're not in it for checks and championships, what the hell are you doing there? Get out. So, telling you that right now. So, and I'll tell you what, hey, good for her. And you know what? I applaud her. And you know what? Like I said, like I've always said before, it's about time that she focuses on her own career, and I see her going to the top. I really do. So, good on you, Fallon. I applaud. I approve. Well done. So, 2.5, 2 3/4 for the match. And MF, it's simple. checks and championships. That's what it's all about. And you heard what she said. And you heard what she said to Kalani Jordan outside. You heard what she said. I'm tired of putting myself first. I'm tired of putting others first. It's about time I look out for myself. Damn right. Well said. Move on.
Boy. I mean, that I didn't expect that from Florio. I honestly, that kind of caught me off guard. All right. If that was if you believe that's how it's possible, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe that North American title, because right now I don't see her winning the NXT title anytime soon. Just saying, really. All right. So after that, next up we had was Tyson DuPont and Tredrick Igwe. They went up against the Good Brothers, and it was the Good Brothers winning the match at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We're not going to really talk much about this one. These were two guys from the NIL, striking NIL deals, getting the opportunity, and they did all right. It was fine, but you're going up against the Good Brothers. There's no way you were going to win that fight. I mean, good showing, good opportunity for them to get their feet wet. Welcome to WWE, but there wasn't any way that was going to happen. So, with that said, we're just going to move right on along. Next up, we did have was a whole bunch of different other things. All right, Shawn Spears versus Rich Holland, and it was Rich Holland winning the match in 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Solid match, good battle. This was about maybe about 2.5, close to 3. I say more 2.5 stars. But yeah, that it kind of was one of those that kind of was more of a trickier match than anything else. We kind of thought it was going to go, it could have gone different ways, but Holland needs the victory more. He's kind of getting his trying to get back into the action. So I'm good with the win. I thought it was a good win for him. And yeah, so 2.5 stars. And Anthony, it's yours.
For the record, that whole thing with Fallon Henley, that was just me being a heel commentator. That's all. So,
obviously.
So just wanted to, address that elephant in the room. 2.5, 2 3/4 for this. This bout never went beyond second gear and lacked the intensity that it should have had. So I'm not going to waste too much time on this because we got a lot to get into here. So 2.5, 2 3/4. I'll leave it at that. Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 2.5 stars on this one. I mean, yeah, you pretty much had your say on it, so there's really nothing more for me to add. So let's move on.
All right, next up we was the big one, the tag team titles on the line. Authors of Pain versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Nathan Frazier and Axiom winning the match in 9 minutes and 35 seconds to successfully defend the titles. Anthony, it's yours.
How about it? How about this? What an upset here. The majority of this bout was AOP dominating. Their size and power too much for the high flyers in most instances. Karrion Kross, Scarlett, and Paul Ellering all ejected from ringside after the referee caught them. And while the referee was distracted, surprise appearance by Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne attacking AOP and paved the way for Axiom and Frazier to retain. Match had some good energy and a few great spots, but the way it ended made the champs look a little weak, if I'm going to be honest with you. But it was still a solid match. I'll give it about 3 stars for the effort. And remember, let's not forget, gentlemen, Karrion Kross and AOP and Scarlett and Ellering, they got drafted to Monday Night Raw. Who else got drafted to Monday Night Raw in the supplemental draft after the show?
The New Catch Republic.
What does that tell you?
Their rivalry is gonna spill over to Monday Night Raw.
You damn right. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Solid 3 stars. Champs stay the champs. And I mean, I should have thought of this beforehand. I mean, I know MF went on the record and said when this match gets made, we're going to have new champions. Yeah, not so fast there, MF. Not so fast. So there you have it. So solid 3 stars. So Bullock, I know everybody going in this match, everybody's thinking, AOP all the way. They're they're gonna slaughter them like the Celtics slaughtered the Heat tonight.
But in the immortal words of the great Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend.
And in the immortal words of the great Rudy Tomjanovich, don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
And that's the way it was. So 3 stars for me. I mean, yeah, the champs going over was the right call here. I mean, there was no way they were going to lose the titles to AOP here, especially now that they're going to be in this feud with the new Catch Republic on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So it's yours, Fletch.
If it wasn't for that storyline, we would have had new tag team champions. You guys are freaking morons right now. That was absolutely the only reason why Axiom and Nathan Frazier kept the belts is because of New Catch Republic. What are we kidding here? That was absolutely just them trying. They didn't want the main roster guys to get the belts back because, they want to preserve that as just exclusive for NXT. I get it. I'm not Johnny come lately on the block. When New Catch showed up, I was like, you're gonna screw them over you're gonna screw AOP on this one. All right, fine. So I get it. So that's they're gonna do the rivalry on Raw. That's what they needed it to do. So yeah, there's nothing more to say there. At the end of the day, it was a fine match, so we'll just move right on along. Main event was NXT Underground, as it was Lola Vice versus Natalia. Lola Vice winning the match in 11 minutes and 51 seconds via technical knockout, as Lola Vice hits the back fist on Natalia. And basically, the referee called for the bell to end it. So, Michael Bullock, it is yours. And then we'll get into something that I think you're going to enjoy right after that. So we'll go with the first part. So go about the underground fight, and then we'll go to the next part.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a good match here. I'll give this about maybe 3.25 here. It was a good match here. So yeah, Lola Vice getting one up on Natalia. So yeah, I don't know about the good stuff because I didn't really watch it. But as I give it to you, why don't you elaborate for me what happened?
I'll do that in just a minute. But let's get into the underground fight. Yes, this was a good match. This was a 3-star bout. I really enjoyed it. There was some interference. Of course, Shayna Baszler, Carmen Petrovic, you could say, did get involved. It looked like Natalia was going to win it. She had the sharpshooter on Lola. It looked like Lola was going to tap out. Shayna Baszler basically got involved, put the Karafuda clutch on Carmen. That made her release the move, and then she went after her. But that was the mistake, because the next thing you know, kabam! Back fist to the face, and then a little bit of some hammer fisting. Referee stepped in, stopped it, UFC style, broke up the fight. The fight was over, and Lola gets the win. So solid end to, good match. This, I gotta say it. Underground has gotten better under the NXT banner, because they actually emphasize on the match. Because remember, when Raw Underground started, it was one of the worst things that they did, because it was 2-second fights, you're done. 2-second fights, you're done. 2-second fights, you're done. This one, they actually gave them the ample time, and it felt like a UFC fight. They gave it more of an MMA style fight, and I kind of enjoyed it. So for me, I'm actually pretty good with the way that they played it out. So nothing more to say. And Anthony Foyo, it's all yours.
3.25, 3.5 for this. They worked hard to make this feel like more of a fight than a standard wrestling match. Since there were no ropes, they kept most of the action on the mat with submissions and strikes. This stipulation is a difficult one because it's not a standard match. They are working a different style of fighting, so it can sometimes feel out of place on a show filled with traditional wrestling matches. Both women did a good job with what they had to work with. And biggest win of Lola Vice's career, even bigger than winning the breakout tournament. I mean, anytime you beat someone the caliber of a Natalya, whether it was by hook or by crook, I mean, you still beat Natalya. And we all know Natalya, her, she's been there 16 years. It was right around this time 16 years ago, back in 2008, sometime shortly after WrestleMania 24, when Natalya made her debut on the main roster with Victoria, when they had their little tag team for those first few months. And she's come a long way since then, obviously. Divas champion, SmackDown Women's champion, and a former co-holder of the Women's Tag Team Championships. A record holder, the hardest working woman in WWE. And we know where she gets that from. We know her lineage, the Hart family. We all know it. And good for Natalya for doing the honor here. I mean, it's about getting the younger talent over, and who knows, with a win like this could lead to some bigger and better things for Lola down the line. So we'll have to wait and find out. So congratulations to Lola Vice, biggest win of your career so far. Could lead to maybe something even bigger down the road. Who knows? Maybe the North American Women's Championship. So we'll see what happens with that. But hey, I would say fight of the night here, right around that 3.25, 3.5 threshold, and it definitely was one of the more fun underground matches. So we'll see what happens with it. So Michael Bullock, Lola Vice, biggest win of her career. I mean, technically you could say it was the breakout tournament, but anytime you beat someone like a Natalya,
I actually talked about it already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he let off.
All right, so with that, let's move on to whatever else MF wanted us to get into.
All right, so next week we got is Wesley getting his first match back against Josh Briggs, the Supernova Sessions that's gonna have Trick Williams. There's also going to be an NXT Women's Combine going down. We'll get into that, and on top of that, we got an NXT Women's title fight. That's right. Right at the end of the show, Roxanne Perez throwing a fit as usual, saying, why am I here? Why am I wasting my time? And she's like, aren't you worried about the combine for next week? She's like, don't worry. I got everything under control for the combine. Don't worry about my job. You got a job next week. You got to wrestle. And your opponent, you're putting your NXT title on the line, and your opponent is Chelsea Green.
No.
Think about this, Anthony Florio. Think about this. Chelsea Green, NXT Women's Champion.
No. A million times no.
Bullock, I'm going to give you a fair warning right here and right now. You know how much I respect. You know how much I love and appreciate and respect the hell out of you. You know that. But God forbid, if Chelsea Green wins that NXT Women's Championship, I am going to go on one of the biggest Jesse Ventura laugh riots. Maybe, hell, it's going to be right up there when Jesse Ventura went crazy when Brother Love showed up at WrestleMania 5 instead of Roddy Piper. Remember how nuts he went at that moment?
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Well, I'm warning you. If Chelsea Green wins this title, watch out. I am going to explode big time.
Put the women and children to bed, folks. So,
yep.
I don't
I-
care when I will explode big time, and I don't want to see any of you two say, "Oh, whoa, wait a minute," because if you do, watch out. I just might come after you guys because you know where I stand with Chelsea Green.
Oh, I get it.
She's MF's problem, not mine.
I mean,
to
why NXT? Why? You could have had anybody else but Chelsea Green of all people.
Dude, she's
Why?
over. She's over. I hate to say it, she is over.
Ridiculously over.
Yeah,
The internet,
over my
the internet loves this girl. The internet loves her. Hell, there's some people that's actually thinking that she should be the one to get the Money in the Bank, not Tiffany Stratton. Not
I agree with that. But.
Yeah. Well, obviously we disagree with that.
To those people,
but
I'm going to say it right now. I don't know what the hell have you been drinking or what the hell have you been smoking. Because
they love the crazier than the Peccoon. This is like the Mickey James back at WrestleMania 22 all over again. They love welcome to the Bizarro world. You know what? They want the inmates to run the asylum. That's all it is.
But so, you're going to have to deal with her on your show.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know. Trust me, I know. And I think and the thing is that, like Dee Dee Woodson said, I don't know if you saw the show on Monday night. I think Nick Aldis kind of got a good idea how to handle and neutralize Chelsea Green. So obviously, I mean,
let's wait and see how. And we all know that's exactly what Bullock's going to do if Chelsea wins the title on Tuesday. But
he's already dreading it. He's like, God, Roxanne, I'm not really happy with your attitude. You got to cool off with the attitude. But this is one of the rare times. By all means, please win this fight. Please keep this title. I do not want to see Chelsea Green on NXT as my champion. I could see it. I saw it. I see it.
Go Roxanne Perez crazy on her. If it means a disqualification victory for Chelsea Green, fine. As long as the title.
Well, wait a minute now. Remember, Bullock, if Chelsea wins by DQ, that does open her up for a rematch. That's an automatic rematch.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
So you can't do that. You don't want to do that.
You don't want to the DQ moment.
That's automatic championship committee moment. That puts her right back into the title picture. You can't do that. You need basically Roxanne has to either win by pin or win by submission. This is one of those rare times. I honestly think Roxanne's gonna win. There's no doubt in my mind. I think we're just trying to rattle the cage on Michael Bullock. That's all. Anybody who's thinking that we're trying to be,
that's all.
We're just rattling the cage. We're just rattling the cage. But
that's all.
But honestly, truthfully, if Chelsea wins this belt, oh my God, I don't know how. Like how do I react?
You're gonna have to get me a straight jacket.
I don't know what to even say. Like, do I even want to do my you know how I always do my infamous and new, and then do the history is made unprecedented crowning? Do I even do that in front of Bullock?
I would.
If you do that, I'll be like, Fletch.
I'm gonna have to. I'm probably gonna have to. I don't know.
Remember the RWA? Remember when BMT won the title? You remember that's what I did.
Yeah, he stole. Floyo shoved it right in my face on that one. So yeah, it could happen. Who knows? All right,
man.
But let's get into the overall review. This was fine. It was okay. I think Spring Break-In Part 1 was better than Part 2, honestly, truthfully. But it did have some emphasis on some stuff. Wesley coming back, big plus. To have the fact that, we got this gauntlet or this combine thing. All right, I want to see what this is all about. I guess we'll be interested to see how this plays out next week. The thing that really got me was the Chelsea Green surprise. That was actually pretty big. Was pretty big in itself. And now you got Chelsea Green against Roxanne Perez next week. I'm pretty sure Roxanne's gonna win. I think it would be absolutely just hilarious, like no end, if Chelsea wins the title. I know a lot of people want to see it. There are people that want to see Chelsea win this title, but I hate to do it to you guys. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it would be a stunner, but I don't think we're gonna get that upset. They're gonna set Roxanne Perez up with somebody else. I don't know who they're gonna put her up against. Maybe that's why they're throwing Chelsea Green at her, because who could they put for Roxanne Perez right now? There's really nobody at the moment. Lara Valkyria would have been your best choice, but Lara's gone. She's gone to Monday Night Raw. That's not happening now.
And so is Kiana James.
Kiana James. Well, Kiana wasn't really in the title picture though, Florio.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
she wasn't really in the title picture. The only one was the only one that Roxanne Perez was going to have to deal with was it probably would have been either Lara Valkyria. We haven't seen Tatum Paxley, so we don't know if she's coming back. But is she a babyface? Is she a heel? No, I don't know. We haven't heard Cora Jade's name, but she's still out. Cora's not coming back till what? Maybe the fall, at least. Maybe sometime next year. So can't be her. Even though I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that social media video? Cora stealing the NXT Women's title right underneath Roxanne Perez, only for Roxanne to steal the belt back maybe a few minutes later. I don't know if you noticed that. It was during draft night. Roxanne left the belt unattended. That's one of the reasons why you deserve to lose this belt. Why did you leave the belt unattended? The belt was laying on a chair, unattended, and Cora Jade just was, thank you very much. I'll just hide this underneath my jacket. What? That's how you treat your NXT Women's title? Oh no. I got nothing more to say on that. I'm not going there. I'm not gonna throw hay. I don't want to go there. 6.5 to 6 and 6.5. Anthony, go.
Yeah. Last night's NXT was supposed to be a special episode, but it ended up feeling like an average show with one or two surprises. Leslie's return was a highlight, as was Obafemi versus Ivar, but everything else felt rushed. 3 of the matches felt too short, and 1 had a baffling outcome. WWE has been hyping the debut of DuPont and Igwe for a few weeks with video packages, only to book them to lose in a few minutes to a team with no momentum whatsoever. Hale versus Jane and Spears versus Holland also lacked time. NXT is a very hot and cold brand. Some weeks are super fun, like last week, but some, like this week, are mediocre. And sadly, last night was the mediocre, the latter. But it did still have a few enjoyable moments. So in a way, it kind of felt like a back to reality show after that incredible show from the previous week, which was the NXT of the year so far. So 6.5. Michael Bullock back to reality for this part 2 of spring break, and after that incredible week 1.
Yeah, it did feel like a back to reality as well. So 6.5. Nothing more to say. Let's get into Dynamite.
All right. So with that said, we started off the show. Well, we started off where basically, let's see, where do we go from here? So, All right, so we started off with Jay White and Dante Martin. Jay White winning in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. This is about a 3-star bout. Solid opener, good battle. Jay White getting the win. No big surprise here. He's been really good lately, and they want to keep the momentum for Jay White, so he did fine. Dante Martin looked fine.
And that was Rampage.
Whoa, what? Hold
Jay
on.
White and Dante Martin. That was on Rampage.
Okay, all right, hold on. They gave me the wrong thing. Hold on.
That's what I figured.
I'm using ProWrestling.net and they gave the wrong. Yeah, they don't even. Wait, what the hell? They don't even have Dynamite. Oh, was that? Oh, that might be. Oh, okay. All right.
Rampage followed Dynamite tonight, a special 3-hour block because of the continuing coverage of the playoffs.
Of the playoffs. Got it. All right. So here we go. This should be the right one. All right. Here we go. So we started off with Swerve Strickland. So Matthew and Nicholas Jackson basically is like, yeah, we're gonna announce your opponent, and that you're gonna be defending your AEW World Title at Double or Nothing. And they announced that their opponent is none other than Christian Cage. What? Wait a minute. Normally, what then? Okay. Why the hell do you not take a look at the rankings? Are you flipping kidding me? So, what? The rankings that you brought back, that you supposedly brought back because of the CM Punk thing, and now you give it to a guy who hasn't wrestled in how long? And give it to a guy who is grossly not even deserving of being fighting for the AEW World Title. What the bleep is going on? I was perplexed. I was furious. And then don't even get me started with Christian Cage's promo that was downright racist. Don't even go there with me right now. So I got nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, just go before I say something I'll regret.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. You got another guest at the table.
I'm just gonna ask the question to Tony Khan here. Why? Two questions. Number one, why do we put up with you? And two, the other question is, what do you take us for? The one thing that Tony Khan does more than anything else that I have noticed lately is insult our intelligence. Insulting our intelligence is a major no-no. And we're letting you know about it right here and right now. Christian gave, okay, even though, even though it is beyond, it makes no sense whatsoever for Christian Cage to be getting a title shot out of nowhere after being gone for 2 months after losing to Adam Copeland in that TNT Championship match. As not right as it was, I will say this though: the segment did a great job setting up the feud. I will say that. It's going to be a good match. I do believe it's going to be a very good match. But, like I said, it makes absolutely no sense. I really don't know who else they could have put in this spot. I really don't know. I mean, Double or Nothing, one of your biggest shows of the year, and this is who you give us? No, absolutely not. But the match is going to be very good, though. I will say that, because he is capable of putting on good matches. But no, I'm with MF on this one. I mean, I don't know what else there is for me to say. So, Michael Bullock, I'm just gonna ask you the same two questions that we should be asking Tony Khan. Why do you love insulting our intelligence so much? And number two, what do you take us for? Tony Khan, what do you take us for? Seriously. Bullock, just go.
And you want to know why AEW is sucking right now? This is a perfect example.
Insulting our intelligence.
You're freaking insulting our intelligence. And I mean, why do you not go by the rankings? I mean, what in the freaking hell did Christian Cage do to earn a title match? What in the world did he do? And then, yeah, that promo that Christian did, yeah, that's borderline racist. That is so fucking borderline racist. And you know where I stand with it. I'm not going to stand for this kind of bullshit. And yeah, Tony Khan, I mean, you just made Swerve Strickland the first African American world champion. And then you had someone cut a racist promo. This doesn't make absolutely any sense at all with the match. I really don't know. I really don't fucking know right now. This is AEW is really getting on my damn nerve right now, and I don't want to hear any of you fucking pro AEW marks saying, this I'm fine with this damn promo. I don't want to hear any of that bullshit from you guys. And if you want to come after me for it, go right ahead. I don't give a damn. Because I will come after all you AEW marks out there. And I can bet you bottom dollar JD from NY is going to go after the Tony Khan again, like he's done over the past few weeks.
Actually, guys, to be real honest with you, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, I actually looked at the AEW rankings. The top ranking guy right now is Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes. This is actually his spot. He should be the number one contender for the AEW world title right now.
I'd rather have him in that spot.
So you're basically saying, Dustin Rhodes, we know you're number one, but
this is the Young Bucks abusing their power as executive vice presidents. This is the EVPs abusing their power. So obviously, they're thumbing it at Tony Khan, saying that we don't give a damn about your rankings, and that we're just going to give a guy who is, because remember, they're breaking.
And this is why I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I have lost all respect for the Young Bucks.
Because because remember, they're trying to say they want AEW to be something different. So they're basically saying that they prefer, and this is my thought. Tony Khan was the one that made the call for Swerve Strickland to be the AEW World Champion. In the eyes of the Young Bucks, Swerve Strickland is not deserving of being the AEW World Champion, and that in their eyes, the deserving champion would be Christian Cage, because they basically pissed all over the rankings, and is making saying that this is our guy, this is the one that we want to be the AEW World Champion, and I'm almost certain that if the Young Bucks is gonna try to do whatever it takes for them to win that title, how's that gonna play out? I don't know. I honestly believe that it's gonna blow up, because with Swerve Strickland being the champion, I believe that the people want Strickland to hold the belt for a little while. But remember, I'm with Anthony Floyo. This is gonna be a great match. How are we gonna get there? How's this gonna play out? And who comes out the champion? That is when we're going to see one way or the other. That's going to be our defining moment. If it's so we'll see how it plays out. So I got nothing more to add.
If Christian Cage wins it, you just made Swerve Strickland a transitional champion.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are not going to be happy with that because look at how many people that was begging AEW to pull the trigger and give Swerve Strickland the title. And remember, this was about what, 3 months, probably more, that people were clamoring, begging AEW to put the belt on Swerve Strickland. They had a moment, and then they didn't do it. They let Joe keep the title, and then the next pay-per-view, they decided to do it, which was about, what, 3 months later? So, I don't know. But now, yeah, if they make him a transitional champion, oh boy, the negativity is going to be massive for AEW. But we'll see. TNT title on the line, Adam Copeland versus Buddy Matthews. Adam Copeland successfully defends the title in 20 minutes and 55 seconds. Anthony Flair, it's yours.
Finally a positive here. Fight of the night here, no doubt. 4.25 to 4.5. Hey, they did some great work in this match, especially after the second commercial break. Copeland's avalanche impaler and Matthews' various strikes all look great. The only issue they had was how it was paced in some places. Adam Copeland retained the TNT title with the spear, but kept attacking Matthews after the bell. Malachi Black appeared and took Matthews away before anything bad could happen. But there was a moment when he was basically telling Copeland to hit him, telling Copeland to hit Matthews there. But incredible match. 4.25, 4.5 stars, fight of the night. I think we're looking at, I think he will, I wouldn't be surprised if Brody King ends up going after him next, and then Copeland gets by him. And I think we get Copeland and Malachi Black at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Malachi Black wins the title. I wouldn't. I think Malachi Black is due for a title. So that's just how I feel. So 4.25, 4.5, fight of the night for me. So Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 4.25, 4.5, fight of the night. What a match this was. I mean, yeah, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, the champion was going to remain the champion, so there's really nothing more to say. I mean, Fletch, it's yours.
4.25. That's my rating. Great matchup, good battle. Yeah, it's possible. I guess the big question is that how much does AEW value Malachi Black? Because if they don't, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But at the end of the day, yeah, there's really nothing more to add there. So Anthony, we're just gonna move right on along. Next up, Samoa Joe versus Isaiah Cassidy. Samoa Joe winning the match in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. We don't really need to talk about that one, so we're just gonna move right on along. Then the next thing we know, is that we had Chris Jericho versus Shibata for the FTW title. It was Chris Jericho winning the match in 15 minutes and 25 seconds. I believe this is Michael Bullock, so Bullock, it's yours.
I'll give this 3.5 stars. I mean, this was a good match here. I mean, yeah, to me, the outcome was never in doubt here that Jericho was going to go over here. So I'm not going to elaborate too much on it. So it's yours, Fletch.
And Matthew, you're on mute. And MF, are you there? All right. And I think MF might have stepped away, so I'm just gonna have to take it for a spin here myself. Okay, MF. There's MF. All right. Your thoughts?
I would say this was a solid match. This is about 3.5 stars. It was a little bit slow and plotty in certain points. I'm not gonna say it was completely perfect, but it was fine for what it was worth. So Anthony, it's yours.
This ended up being more fun than it had any right to be, and a lot of the credit for that goes to Shibata for finding some unique ways to use the stipulation to his advantage. Big Bill showed up and attacked Shibata to help Jericho retain. 3.5 stars, and you know, one of the worst aspects of AEW television is Chris Jericho and that FTW title, a title that's not even recognized as a real title. Hello. So rubs me a little bit the wrong way, but it was a fun. I will say it was a fun match, though. I will give it that. But nothing more to say. 3.5 stars. Let's move on.
All right. So with that said, we do indeed move on. Next up that we did have, to say the very least, is we had a, let me see what match is it? Oh, Claudio Castagnoli. Is it Claudio or is it? Yeah, Claudio Castagnoli going one-on-one with Brian Cage. Claudio wins the match in 9 minutes and 50 seconds. This was kind of more of a big man fight more than anything else. It was solid for what it was worth. I'd say this was about maybe another 3. So, Anthony, it's yours.
3 to 3.25. Hard hitting and physical bout that did a lot to highlight how good both of these guys are when they are working with another powerhouse. This bout had some great spots and made both guys look great, but Claudio definitely came away from this looking better since he got the victory with a sharpshooter, which popped the crowd in Winnipeg. So, so a solid 3 to 3.25 star match. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll give this 3.25 as well. I mean, I thought this was another solid match here. I mean, yeah, this was your typical like big man fight here, so I'm not going to elaborate too much. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right, next up we had was Serena Deeb versus Mariah May. Serena Deeb winning the match in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. So, Florio, it's yours.
Only fitting because this is a Tony special, guys.
Yes, it is.
Oh, in the immortal words of Booker T, shucky ducky quack quack. That's all I got to say on that. Tony special because these are two of my favorites. Mariah May, well, she speaks for herself. And but Serena Deeb, guys, I mean, in all seriousness, though, you guys know how high I have been on Serena Deeb for years, and I'm so glad that she's getting this, getting more time here, and it's definitely looking like she's going to be the one that's going to go out, going to be the next challenger for Toni Storm in the women's title, maybe at Double or Nothing. But great display of skill from a veteran and a rising star who brought out the best in each other. This is the kind of bout that you almost need to go back and watch again just to make sure you catch everything they did well. Deeb locked May in a submission, but May refused to tap. But Toni Storm threw in the towel, literally threw in the towel to save Mariah from suffering too much damage. Could that lead to something down the line? I don't know. But yeah, 3.25, solid 3.25 for the effort. So outcome was never in doubt, but all I can say is, I mean, out of the three of us, nobody had more fun watching this match than I did. So yes, so not much more for me to add on to this. So Michael Bullock in a Tony special, Serena Deeb and Mariah May, two of my favorites. Mariah for her beauty and the whole nine, but Serena Deeb with her natural, not just her beauty, but her natural wrestling ability, and she made Mariah May look amazing here tonight, and Serena Deeb now, it's definitely looking like her and Toni Storm for the women's title, presumably Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I think it looks like Serena Deeb is going to be the next challenger for Toni Storm's AEW Women's World Title. So that's the way it's looking. So 3.25 stars. Yeah, the outcome to me was never in doubt because you want to give Serena Deeb that momentum heading into what it looks like the potential women's title match against Toni Storm. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I'll go with the 3-star bout. So nothing more to say. Main event segment was Kenny Omega making his return to AEW. Michael Bullock, it's all yours, man. What did you think about Kenny Omega?
Yeah, great to see Kenny Omega back. I mean, he basically talked about that he needed the surgery on his diverticulitis, and yeah, I mean, he looks really good. But then all of a sudden, he gets confronted by Okada, and he said that I'll see you in 2 months, but then afterwards, Jack Perry jumps him, and then the Elite. The Young Bucks come out and basically jump him, and Jack Perry punched him in the stomach. They attacked the stomach because that is where the whole diverticulitis thing it affected him. So this is basically, once again, and I'm going to say it again, Fletch, this is the Young Bucks throwing their weight around, basically saying, hey, we can do whatever the hell we want to do. If it means hurting someone that we used to care for, so be it.
But you also left one valuable thing out. FTR came out to make the save.
Yeah.
The Elite ran the Elite ran the minute FTR hit the ring.
Yeah.
One other
thing. Too little, too late.
There's one other thing. NMF. You know this better than anybody. Omega and Okada in the same ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, boys. It's been at least I want to say at least 2 years since we saw Okada and Omega in the ring. The last time they did it, they were throwing down for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. So yeah, they know each other really well.
Yeah, but that ain't gonna happen thanks to Jack Perry and the rest of the Elite. Especially after what they did. And then we saw exclusively backstage. Well, I did see on Instagram that the beating continued. Well, basically the Elite went after FTR, and yeah, you know how I feel about the Elite right now. So
yeah,
so I'm gonna say it. They're nothing more than a bunch of bullies. They think they can throw their weight around.
Yep.
Well, you know what? This is why we hate your version of AEW. It sucks. Yeah. It stinks. I don't like it. And you know what? The four of you got a problem with it. You know what? The four of you can kiss my ass.
All right. So with that said, there's really nothing more to add there. So look, it was a good segment to close the show. It was a good battle. There's really nothing more for us to add here. Florio, give a quick thought.
I understand why they did it, but at the same time, I mean, this is the second week in a row that the main event of Dynamite was an in-ring segment. I'm hoping that we get a match in the main event, next week. But as long as this is how it's going to be, we're probably going to get this every week. As long as these idiots are running things, as long as these monkey clown boys are running the things. So
yeah, monkey clown boys. That's what they are. They're nothing more than a bunch of monkey.
All right,
boys.
Bullock. All right.
Bullock is on fire here tonight. So, but nothing more for me to say except, in the immortal words of Jesse the Body Ventura from SummerSlam '89, these guys are a bunch of lunatics. We don't like them. They go by their own rules, and that's it. So I'll leave it at that. So mind the P's and Q's, folks. Mind the P's and Q's. So, so not much more to say on that. Good segment, yes, but at the same time, I mean, when it comes to the main event, I don't care. When it comes to a main event of a TV, I would much prefer it be a match than an in-ring segment, unless it's really necessary. Is this really necessary? In immortal words, no, absolutely not. Okada and Omega, great to see them together. MF knows their history better than anybody. He saw all their matches, and all of them were 6-7 star rated by Meltzer.
They were all worthy of the high rankings, even though I think Dave Meltzer kind of was. I'm not gonna say the word. You can think it. You can think it, but you guys already know how I feel about Meltzer. So, I mean, I'll leave it at that.
You're not the only one. So
yeah. So
not much more to say. Let's. I know tensions are very high tonight, so let's just try to move quickly here.
Yeah. So we'll just move right on along. Overall review. which I believe starts with you, Anthony Florio. So overall review.
All right. AEW put on a little over 3 hours of programming tonight, but it went by quickly thanks to some great matches and a show that was laid out well. Even the bouts that could have been shorter felt like they were given enough time. Joe could have squashed Isaiah Cassidy and nobody would bat an eye, but he gave the tag team specialist some time to shine before beating him. Jericho and Shibata better than expected. Mariah May and Serena Deeb put on a great show. Brian Cage and Claudio put their talent and power on display in a very good Be a Man fight. Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue had the most memorable match, but the biggest talking point coming out of the show was the Elite attacking Kenny Omega moments after he told the crowd any significant impact could kill him. Obviously, Omega's condition is not as bad as that if he was willing to get this physical, but the way the story played out got a lot of heat on Okada and the Bucks. AEW's playing the long game with this story because we know we won't get a payoff for at least a few months. Sigh. So hopefully it can keep this momentum going. As a whole, it was an entertaining 3 hours of programming with a few bouts worth taking the time to watch if you did not see it live. For Dynamite, I would give it about maybe 7.5 to 8. So not much more to say. Bullet quickly.
Oh, what did you give it?
7.5 to 8. What says you?
Yeah, 7.5 to 8. I think is the right rating. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, 7.5. I'll give that the rating. Like you said, there was some good stuff and everything else. I think what it is that like WWE, AEW is they gotta figure it out. But I think what it is that sometimes you get the weeks that it's going to be a down week, boring week. There's not going to be much to be talked about because you don't have anything to work off because you still got you have basically the biggest event of the year, which is Double or Nothing. That's coming down at the end of the month. Normally that's done by Memorial Day weekend. So you got that coming up. All right, fine. You just got to build it. So you build it up, you get things going. Right now, you don't really need to do anything. As far as the turf war goes, they might be setting that up for blood and guts. That might be where the end game with that. The Bucks, the Bucks, Okada, and Jack Perry against maybe, who knows how this plays out, but this will probably be the defenders of AEW, which is Tony Khan's crew. Obviously, FTR is going to be there. You got to believe now Kenny Omega will now be a part of the squad. Who's that fourth guy? That's where now the $1 million question rings. Could that be MJF? Could he be coming back from injury? Could he be a part of that battle? Could it be somebody else? Could it be Kota Ibushi, the fellow and then we get the Golden Lovers reunited again? Who knows? One thing for sure, we got to wait and see how it plays out. But just like how WWE, and I know a lot of people was blasting WWE because of how boring the draft was and how bad this week of WWE coverage was. And the thing is that I think they were just trying to restack the deck, resettle things down, because you came off a red hot WrestleMania, and yeah, was stories great? No, not really. But it served its purpose in certain areas. I think AEW just needs to have a cooler. Let cooler things go down. What happened last week didn't really help anything. But the thing is that now we got to see how it plays out. All right? Let cooler's head prevail. We'll see how this plays out. Let's go into Backlash, guys, very quickly. We'll start it off with the first fight of the night. The Bloodline versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I'm calling Bloodline to win. I think right now you're going to want to build the Bloodline as the stronger group. So I could see this being like a backdoor victory, like a little bit of a not so clean victory here. So give me Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa to beat Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. So I really got nothing more to say. And Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Solo Sikoa hasn't had a great win-loss record in 2024. Tama Tonga hasn't wrestled at all yet. it would be foolish to have him lose his first match and give Sikoa another loss while he's trying to establish himself as the new biggest threat in the bloodline, if not the leader, at least temporarily. In order to be the tribal heir, he needs to be a threat again. And I'm going to take it a step further. I expect this to be the debut of Jacob Fatu interfering to cost Owens and Orton the match. So Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga win the match because of Jacob Fatu. Bullock, are we going to make that unanimous?
Yes, I'm going to make it unanimous that Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga are going to win. And I do agree. I think this is where we're going to see the debut of Jacob Fatu. So, nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, next up we do have is the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. The Kabuki Warriors putting those belts on the line against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Florio, it's yours.
Here's where we have our title change, gentlemen. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are both way too protected to lose here. The Kabuki Warriors have held the tag titles long enough that they are not in some quote-unquote too fresh territory like all the other champions on this card. Damage Control is on the downward spiral. We're getting new champions who will probably keep them quite a while before splitting and maybe feuding with each other down the road. But for right now, winners and new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and don't be surprised if Jade Cargill scores the winning fall. So not much more to say. I'm calling new champions. Bullock, what says you?
I'm with you. I'm calling new champions as well. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will become the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I mean, the Kabuki Warriors had a good run, but I think they've had the titles for long enough. So, and I think Jade Cargill will get the pinfall here. So, it's your Fletch.
Cargill and Bianca winning the title. I know a lot of people. I know there's a couple people that I know that doesn't want to see Bianca win the title. I don't know. I think it's either they just don't like the gimmick. They don't like the attitude. They think they're incredible wrestlers, but I don't know. I hate to say this, but according to one of my friends, it's kind of that John Cena, Roman Reigns, Bianca's too Supergirl type attitude, and he gets a little annoyed about that, and he just doesn't care for Bianca Belair. He does not. He's been very anti Bianca Belair since the jump. And I'm just going to say right now that, so I think it will be Bianca and Jade to win the title. Nothing more to say. Next up, triple threat for the WWE Women's title, as it is Bayley putting the title on the line against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, Bayley just won the title at WrestleMania. I know some people want to see Tiffany Stratton win it, but I think it's too soon. And yeah, I mean, as much as I want to see Naomi do it, I just don't see it happening. So winner and still the WWE Women's Champion, Bayley. It's yours, Fletch.
I agree. I think Bayley's going to successfully defend the title. It's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a good fight, but I just feel like Bayley's just going to do it. I think, you just had her win the title at WrestleMania. There's no way you're going to have her drop the belt just yet. And plus, with the plethora of competition that she's going to have coming into the SmackDown roster, there's going to be some good matchups coming down the pipeline. So, yes, winner and still women's champion, Bayley. Florio, it's yours.
I'll be honest with you. I would love this. I would be totally down to see a surprise here with Tiffany Stratton winning the title. But again, that's not going to happen after Bayley just won it at WrestleMania. If I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised Tiffany's even in this match. I feel like she would be a fantastic choice for either Queen of the Ring or Money in the Bank. And that whichever one of those would catapult her to being the one to eventually dethrone Bayley. They must have other plans, at least for Queen of the Ring. No idea who that would be. So for now, I think Tiffany has to come up short. She might come back around to cashing in Money in the Bank or something later in the year. But right now, I'm putting all my chips on Bayley. Naomi doesn't have a realistic chance, and I wouldn't be surprised if Naomi even takes the fall here. So,
yeah,
winner and still WWE Women's Champion, it's Bayley. So, not much more to say. Let's move on to the next match.
I totally agree with what you just said there, Anthony Flayo. I honestly believe that they're going to protect Tiffany here. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Bailey will win the match. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. But no, I'm totally agreed with everything you just said there. Next up is for the World Heavyweight Championship, Jey Uso versus the champion Damian Priest. I don't know, guys. I've been hearing some rumors about maybe Jey Uso walking out of France with the title. I mean, don't you think that's a little too soon to put it on the Heat Master himself? I mean,
Yeah.
I know he's super over, but Damian just won it at WrestleMania. But quite frankly, a lot of people felt like it wasn't even his title to win in the first place. Do they do the impossible, Anthony, and do they put Jey Uso as the new champion?
No. Just like the just like the other world title situation, I don't think WWE could get away with having Damian Priest drop the World Heavyweight Championship so fast. On top of that, Jey Uso is not quite ready to be the top guy on Raw. He's certainly climbing that ladder quicker than I would have anticipated. And I would be totally down to see him eventually become champion. But it's not happening here. A lot of people seem down on this for it not feeling quote-unquote big enough after seeing Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and others involved. I think the crowd in France will like it just fine, and this will leave room for future matches with Priest to feel like a bigger deal. By hook or by crook, winner and still World Heavyweight Champion, it is Damian Priest. So I got Priest retaining the title. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I got Damian Priest retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, look, I would love to see Jey Uso win, and especially with how over he is, but Damian Priest just won the title via the Money in the Bank cash-in, and yeah, it's too soon. So winner and still World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, it's your selection.
Damian Priest still the heavyweight champion of the world. I totally agree with that. So there's really nothing more for us to go. Main event, Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship. He puts the title on the line against AJ Styles. Michael Bullock, I think we know how this plays out.
Oh yeah, it's the American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes winning and retaining the undisputed WWE title. I mean, AJ Styles is going to put up a good effort here, but Cody just won the title, just finished the story. Do you really think he's going to drop the belt this quickly? No. So winner and still undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, it's your selection.
I know there's some people that's been saying that Cody's reign's been pretty boring, that, it's bland, it's blah, and everything else. But here's the thing, guys. And I want to emphasize this. Cody's actually been defending the title lately. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, but this is his first televised this is his first title defense." No, it's not. He actually just recently defended the title against Shinsuke Nakamura. He's actually defended the title against Dominic Mysterio recently. And as a matter of fact, he just defended the title again earlier today in Italy on a house show. So he's been defending the title on house shows. It's just that we haven't really talked about it. But the thing is, he did defend. I think his match against Carmelo Hayes was non-title, but that was one match that we did see. And now Cody Rhodes does indeed, universally recognized, is now going to defend the title officially on TV, first time against AJ Styles. But by all means, and I know a lot of people have been saying, well, Swerve Strickland's been defending the title, on this and this and this. Cody's been doing the same thing, folks. The thing is that you haven't seen it on TV, but if you do read the dirt sheets and everything else, I can tell you by now that Cody Rhodes has defended the WWE Championship about 5 times since becoming the WWE Champion at WrestleMania. It's just that we haven't seen it officially until now. So just for those people who are wondering, has Cody been defending the title? The answer is yes. He has indeed been defending the title. He's put the title on the line about 5 or 6 times in house shows. Dominic Mysterio was one. Nakamura was one. I don't know the others up to this point. I probably have to go into the archives to find it. But yes, Cody has been defending the title. He just defended it earlier today in Milan, Italy. And you want to talk about boring? You want to talk about how he's a boring kid? No. This guy got a monster pop in Italy. I expect him to get a monster pop in France when he goes in. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, Cody should successfully defend the title. No problems.
Oh, yes. Obviously, there is next to zero chance the title changes hands here. You cannot spend all that time investing in Cody, finishing the story, and take 2 years to get it done just to throw it all away at the next pay-per-view. AJ Styles is here to put on a good show, give him a solid challenger who is a decorated champion in his own right, and to give us a quote-unquote dream match scenario. That's perfectly fine for the belt not to be in jeopardy this quickly. I'm looking forward to this match quite a bit. While I doubt it will get people tossing Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson to the side and hailing this as the fight of the year, I do believe it will deliver quite well. So, winner and still the undisputed WWE champion. It is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And MF, with your permission, earlier this evening, as we all know, Michael Bullock's Boston Celtics took one step closer to finishing their story in a way. They defeated the Miami Heat, and Michael Bullock and I had a small little chat before we came on here tonight. And Michael Bullock wanted to take a moment to honor someone very close to the Celtic organization and give him his flowers and maybe have
Permission?
a quick
I'll say this. Permission granted. Bullock, the floor is yours.
Well, as you all know, the Celtics, of course, they won their game, of course, and defeated the Miami Heat and beat them 4-1. But the game was not only, of course, on TNT, but it was also on NBC Sports Boston. And tonight, because of that, it officially marked the end of an era. After 43 long years at the broadcast table, it was the final game of the legendary career of the voice of the Boston Celtics, Mike Gorman. That's right, folks. He's been doing this for 43 long years. I mean, he started off, of course, at Prism New England. Then it became Sports Channel. Then it became Fox Sports New England. Then it became Comcast Sportsnet. And, of course, now it's known as NBC Sports Boston. And he's worked with so many great people. But there is only one person that I think, to me, and I'll say it, the greatest tandem in the history of professional sports. Mike Gorman and Tommy Heinsohn. They worked together for 39 long years. And then, of course, the remaining years he worked with Brian Scalabrine. And this guy's had so many great calls throughout his career. But there is one that really stood out. And I know we heard the Johnny Most call from when, I think it was the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and Detroit Pistons. But there was also one when Mike Gorman, he had an unbelievable call when Bird stole the ball and got it to Dennis Johnson for the lay-in to win it. And Mike Gorman went nuts. And he's been known for so many great phrases throughout the year, especially "got it," and yeah, I mean, this guy was so full of class, and he did it his way. And so much so, he was enshrined into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And I mean, this guy is so well respected, not just locally, but nationally too. I mean, you saw in the closing video, you heard from Paul Pierce. You also heard from guys from the Inside the NBA on TNT with Chuck, Shaq, Kenny Smith, and Charles Barkley, from Mike Breen to Iron Eagle. And yes, Fletch, we even heard from your boy Kevin Harlan, along with Reggie Miller. So that just shows you how much Mike Gorman is respected, not just locally, but nationally. And Mike Gorman, you definitely have given us 43 years of memories that we will all never forget. And you were the voice of the Boston Celtics, and you deserve to be honored. And of course, that's obviously what they did in the last game of the regular season on Mike Gorman Day. And there were times he got so, I mean, especially when he talked about Tommy Heinsohn, and you could just see he was trying to fight back the tears. And I mean, there's just so many people that are well respected, but this guy definitely is well respected here in New England, but everywhere nationally. So congratulations, Mike Gorman, on a 43-year career. You deserve this retirement. Enjoy your retirement. Enjoy your time with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. And you saw the final send-off when he signed off for the final time. And these games are not going to be the same without him. So on behalf of all of us here at TXN's, not just Talking Wrestling TXN, but TXN Sports World, we definitely want to send our congratulations to Mike Gorman. Like I said, enjoy your retirement. And I'm going to do like what Anthony Florio always said. To Mike Gorman, thank you for the memories. Thank you for the inspiration. And thank you for Mike Gorman. Enjoy your retirement, my friend. You most certainly deserve it.
Longfellow couldn't have said it better.
Well said. No doubt about it. Well said, Bullock. Well done. All right. So with that said, I believe we should be done for the night. Anthony, do you have anything else on the pipeline? Or actually, why don't you set up for the future content if you got anything? So it's yours.
Well, I wanted to give. I wasn't sure if we had enough time to do a quick Celtics chat because of the Celtics advancing tonight.
Let's
just say,
yeah.
Or do you want to do
Bullock?
it? I say we do it. You know what? Let's do it for Mike Gorman.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that.
And I can't think of a better way to break the ice on what has been a very tense night because of some of the events of the shows. But yeah, so tonight it was game number 5 of the first round series between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. And tonight, the Boston Celtics, they put away the Miami Heat, and in immortal words of Gorilla Monsoon and MF, they did it in a grand style, guys. No doubt about that. They defeat the Miami Heat by a final score of 118-84 here tonight. And I'm just want to get a quick thing up here. Let's see. Okay, box. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay. If this playoff run is about redemption for the Boston Celtics, it had to start with exacting some revenge against the Miami Heat. 1 year ago, Miami embarrassed Boston in a winner-take-all Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals at TD Garden. Tonight, the Celtics returned the favor. Jaylen Brown and Derek White each scored 25 points, and the Celtics advanced to the second round, beating the shorthanded Heat 118-84 in Game 5 tonight. Boston will face the winner of the Cleveland-Orlando series. Cleveland up 3-2 with Game 6 in Orlando on Friday night. And Jaylen Brown basically said they went into this game with a business-like approach. And it was echoed by Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown also had 6 assists. Derek White had 5 threes. Sam Hauser added 17. Tatum had 16 and 12 rebounds. Celtics never trailed and led by as many as 37 points. Bam Adebayo with 23 and Tyler Hero had 15 for Miami, which made its first exit from the playoffs prior to the conference finals since 2021. The Heat struggled throughout. They went 3 of 29 from 3-point range. And, Boston played for the first time without center Kristaps Porzingis after he strained his right calf in the Celtics Game 4 win. His teammates filled in the gaps as the Celtics lead reached 30 in the first half. Then Boston basically exploited a Heat team that was the most injured it had been in the series. Jaime Jaquez Jr. sat out after suffering a hip injury in Game 4. He was replaced in the lineup by DeLon Wright, marking the 37th starting 5 the Heat used this season. Jaquez joined Jimmy Butler with a knee and Terry Rozier with a neck, who had both been sidelined since the start of the series. It made for unique rotations for Miami, which included the veteran Patty Mills logging minutes for just the third time in the series. And Boston seized on the vulnerabilities in the Heat's defense, spreading them out and knocking down 8 threes in the first quarter, helped the Celtics carry an 18-point lead into the second quarter. And this and that's all I can say on that, really. So quick check of the box score here. Didn't go through. All right, now it did. All right. Let's see. Derek White, James, and Jaylen Brown, each with 25. Jason Tatum had 16 and 12 rebounds, had a double-double. Holiday, 10, had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Al Horford with 8. Sam Hauser, 17 off the bench with 5 rebounds. Pritchard with 7 off the bench. And for Miami, Adebayo led the way with 23 with 6 assists and 5 rebounds. Also had 2 steals. Tyler Hero with 15. Caleb Martin had 10. Bryant had 10 off the bench. Jovic had 8.7 rebounds, 4 assists. And the team numbers, of course, Boston shooting 54.5% from the field. Miami 41.4%. Boston was 16 out of 40 from the 3-point line, 40%. Miami went a dismal 3 out of 29, 10% from 3-point range. Yeesh. But Miami did have the free throw advantage. 9 out of 10 for 90%. Boston, 18 of 27, 66.7%. Rebounding was all Boston. 8-2 on the offensive rebound side. 48-27 defensively. Overall, 56-29, the rebound edge for Boston. Celtics had 23 assists. Miami had 20. Celtics 5 steals. Miami 4. Celtics 3 blocks. Heat, no blocks. Miami committed 6 turnovers. Boston committed 15. And fast break points, 5-3 in favor of Boston. Points in the paint, 58-52 Miami. 15 fouls for Boston, 17 for Miami. Each team committed a technical foul. And like I said, Miami never led. Boston led by as many as 37. And now the Boston Celtics on to the second round. And I know for Michael Bullock, it's a bittersweet thing. I mean, yes, he's happy his team has advanced, but at the same time, it came at the price of ending the career of the great Mike Gorman. And a beautiful tribute video from the people at TNT. Very nicely done. That was a wonderful video. And Bullock, basically spoke on behalf of all of us here. So that's the story. 118-84 Boston wins. Cleveland, Orlando. The winner of that series gets them next. Could be over as early as Friday night if Cleveland wins in Orlando. So we'll see what happens. But Michael Bullock, I mean, I know you're sad about Mike Gorman, and you have every right to be. We all are. But nothing lasts forever. All good things must come to an end in that regard. But I know at the same time, Bullock, I mean, you couldn't be any more happier about your Celtics moving on to the second round and Cleveland or Orlando next. But the best part is you got what you wanted. They got their revenge on the Miami Heat. And
Oh, yeah.
I asked you it earlier. I'll ask you it again because we want MF to hear this. How's that revenge tasting there, good buddy?
Oh, it tastes real good. I mean, especially after the way it ended last year against the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I get it. I get that they're undermanned with no Jimmy Butler, no Terry Rozier, but either way, it just feels so good to be able to put away the Miami Heat. And yeah, I mean, the three ball was working for them, and you got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White. Uh, I thought Al Horford played good, obviously in place of Kristaps Porzingis, and yeah, they all stepped up in this thrashing of the Miami Heat, and now it's going to be either the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Orlando Magic that'll face them. So yeah, the Celtics move on. So there's really nothing more for me to say except Fletch, let's call it a night.
I'm gonna say just honestly that if you're the Boston Celtics, you're kind of hoping that the Cleveland series does go 7, because you want to get Porzingis as much time as he needs to come back. Because I do know that they said that he was going to be out for several games with the injury. I think the thing is that just like how I was hoping for the New York Rangers that we would get at least an ample amount of time so that if there was any guys who were hurt, that they could come back in time for the next series. And obviously, from what I've been told, from according to a friend of mine, uh, the the likelihood is that the series could start as early as possibly Friday or Saturday for the New York Rangers. That's what I've been told. I don't know if I think we got to wait to see how the rest of the first round goes. But the rumor is that they're gonna start playing possibly in either Friday or Saturday, possibly by the weekend. Is what I've been heard. Now I'm hearing that the New York Rangers should start playing against the Carolina Hurricanes. So obviously, if you're Boston, you're in that same boat. You got a couple of injuries along the way. You want to win the game, so you're probably going to want to see this one, and you want to see this go at least 6, maybe 7, where you could possibly start your series possibly Sunday, Monday of next week, to get going. So that's what I'm hearing. So we'll see how it plays out. All right, we're out of here. We're done. Anthony Floyo, come on in. Why don't you hit us with the future content?
Am I correct in saying no show tomorrow night?
Yes.
Okay, so no show tomorrow night. Friday, you don't want to miss this. It is our annual NFL Draft Recap edition of TXN Sports World. As you know how we do it, we'll do it the same way we've always done it. Team by team, we'll do our grades. We'll grade each team on their draft, what we liked, what we didn't like. I know we'll go extra detail on our respective teams. My Buffalo Bills, MF's Miami Dolphins, and Bullock if he's on with the New England Patriots. And so that's the plan for Friday. And time permitting, key word, time permitting. Maybe we get into the Bruins beat because we do have Game 6 of the Bruins Maple Leafs series in Toronto. So if we have enough time, maybe we can get into that, and provided Bullock's on too. So so that'll be on Friday, 10:30. I'm guessing. So so it'll be 10:30 Friday night. Tone 25, TXN Sports World 2024 NFL Draft Recap, team by team grades, as we've always done. So not much more to say. MF. And by the way, when it comes to the Saturday show, MF, I can confirm there will be no AEW Collision. It's been preempted for this week.
All right. So we're just going to be covering SmackDown, and we're going to be doing the recap of the Backlash France. So that'll be for Saturday. That'll be at 10:30 on Braves Fan 95, and then Monday we do it all over again. We might do a Bruins beat just in case if we do get the dreaded Game 7. I know Michael Bullock will be on. we're kind of hoping that we ended in 6. But if for some reason we do get the game 7,
It's
we
Saturday.
probably will do. Huh?
That game is Saturday, yes.
So we probably will cover that as well. Who knows? We might even do it after, depending if Bullock wants to do it. Because who knows if they blow the 3-1 lead again? Oh my God! I don't think we're gonna have Bullock that night. I think we're just gonna have to. We're gonna have to give him a day to cool off before we can say anything, because he probably, I don't want what happened here tonight happen again, but we'll see. So, all right, we're done. We're out of here. For Anthony Flair, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you all tomorrow. And we'll see you all on Friday night for the NFL Draft Recap Special. Until then, you know the routine, hugs and hand pounds, and we are out.